Alright, so a few weeks ago, I had an idea where, what if I tried air dribbling 100 times a day for 5 days? So, I did that. So, this video was inspired by Musty's video, air dribbling 500 times a day for 5 days. So, I just did a fifth of what he did because I don't have that much time on my hands, but I did that, and here are the results of that. Here it is, the first day of the long journey that is 500 air dribbles in 5 days. So, in order to really do this, I just got a timer on my phone or stopwatch on my phone and just lapped it every time I got an air dribble. So yeah, I had been using DLG's camera settings for this because his camera settings are good for air dribbling, and I also obviously did this on the air dribbling challenge because how else are you supposed to do it really? But so on the first day it was a bit sloppy since obviously it's the first day and I probably wasn't as good as I was on day 5. There wasn't a massive difference between me on day 1 and day 5, but there was some difference. So yeah, so as you watch, you can notice how my air rolling is quite stiff, and I'm not really able to get good times, and you also see that I'm also having to reset the shot a lot because I mess up my setup, so you'll definitely notice a significant change in those two things over the course of the 5 days. So as you watch the gameplay, you notice how my average times are around 3 to 6 seconds, which is pretty terrible, but it is the first day, so you do obviously see that evolve over the course of the days, but you do notice 3 to 6 seconds, and at best I could get something 7 to 9 seconds, but that was incredibly rare for that to happen to me. So you notice around the start I do change to the breakout because personally I find it to be the best car for air dribbling, and it makes air dribbling so much easier because of its hitbox, and even DLG uses it, so you know it's got to be good. So I changed to that, and I saw a difference in my air dribbling. Maybe not a time difference, but the amount of touches I was able to get on the ball was probably a bit higher. It's a bit hard to tell, but it was higher, and because I did switch, I got a fairly decent time, which you will see at the end of this session. So you can pretty much immediately see the difference between Dominus and Breakout. Breakout, I got better times and many more touches. So I used the Breakout for the rest of the session, and it was really good for me. And I use it in all the other days because obviously, yeah, it's really good. And honestly, it's just the best car for air dribbling. So for long-term air dribblers, you should probably use the Breakout because, as I've said multiple times, it's just a great car for air dribbling, and you could probably do so much better with the Breakout than like the Octane or something. So yeah. So it was around this time that I started getting around 6 seconds or more, and that's actually pretty good for me, especially since this was the first day and I wasn't getting as good times as I was over the course of the next few days, so yeah. Right, it's time for day 2. So now you immediately notice that I'm already starting off with the breakout. I don't really need to explain why, because I have said many times that the breakout is incredible for air dribbling, but today was a good day. You do notice that around the start of the recording, I get like a few 7 to 9s, which honestly for me is quite incredible because I find it to be hard to get to that sort of time. So yeah, I was doing good. But as soon as my car and the ball turns green, things start to get worse. You now notice that I can't really get past 5 seconds, and I don't really know what happened. I guess I was just kind of not doing well, so. But it is important to note that there were not as many attempts where I just got like less than 5 seconds as there was in day 1. If you rewind, you may or may not notice that, but yeah, that's the difference between the first day and the second day. Well, day 3, boys, we're at the middle of this experiment. Well, you may notice that I wasn't doing too well. I mean, I was only getting 5 to 6 seconds. Well, while I'm completely going against what I just said, I started getting some good ones, including a 10-second air dribble run, which I don't even think was the best attempt, but I will insert best attempt thing if it is. Well, I had a short period of really good runs there. You could see like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, all of that. And even though that was only for a short period of time, I was still way better than day 1. And it's only the 3rd day. So hopefully the 5th day will have some insane results. Well, we are almost done with the experiment. One more day after this one. It's time for day 4. Now, from what I remember, day 4 was an actually terrible day. Like, mainly because my best time was pretty atrocious, as you'll see once we get to the best time, but you might notice that maybe my performance is a bit sloppier and maybe similar to day one than anything. I don't really know what happened, it just kind of fell off. However, though, that could be wrong. That's just what I remember from doing this. Well, nothing really much happened in day 4, so let's just get to the best time, I guess, so I don't bore you guys. Day 5 was probably a slightly above average, at least at the start. 5 to 6 seconds, you know, sometimes some 7 and 8s in there, but, you know, the usual. But after a small few minutes, you know, things start to get going. Getting more to 7 to 10s, obviously not a lot, but you know, a decent amount, and what I thought was a decent amount at least, considering I'm a Platinum 2. Well, you can go back to day 1 and you can compare it to day 5. Honestly, day 5 was a lot better, probably because by day 5 I was more experienced with air dribbling, unlike day 1 obviously, since it was the first day of doing the experiment. So day 5 I've built up the experience, built up the muscle memory and all that stuff that you really need to, well, get good at air dribbling. Well, we've done it. We finished the experiment that started multiple weeks ago, since I'm editing this about a month after I recorded it, but we finally finished it. Now let's take a look at the results. With these results, I calculated the average best time over the 5 days and the difference between my best time and my worst time. So the average time of these was 10.23 seconds, and the difference between my best and worst time, 11.27 seconds and 9.2 seconds, was 2.07 seconds. And so with all of that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took quite a while to make, so a like and subscribe would be heavily appreciated, but yeah.